is Wes Rodriguez.
I'm Maria Flores.
And this is Sink or Swim with Wes and M.
It's official.
That's right. Got the YouTube channel. Got our emails down and everything set. SOS with Wes and M. And if you look for it on YouTube, it'll be SOS, one word, then last name, WITHWAM. That's how you find it. That's what the channel title will be. And we'll be posting links to the Facebook page. And the Facebook page will look the same way. SOS space WITHWAM. And the email is SOS with Wham. SOS WITHWAM, all one word, at yahoo.com. We'll be keeping up the No Title Show Facebook page for a while.
Right.
We'll be posting there and updating it with information, and then eventually we'll be phasing out from posting to there. So go ahead and send us a friend request. The page is up, Facebook is up, so go ahead and send a friend request, and we'll be updating our friend list with the info and sending everybody friend requests to there. So
We're like a plague. We're everywhere.
That's right, spreading out. Check your limbs because we'll be eating away.
And I want to give a shout out to my cohort here, because this whole thing with the transferring everything over, it's not as easy as it sounds. And he took the time, and I watched him do his thing, you know. So a shout out to you, Wes, because it's really that was a lot of shit, man, that you had to fucking do, man. And so, you know, I give you props for that, man.
Well, thank you, sir. It just takes time. There's no real difficulty or extra brain power. It's just taking the time to knock it out. It's not that difficult. And I think I want to start focusing on that in the next few podcasts, kind of giving insight, because anybody can do this. And I don't think it'll be a hindrance to anybody's ratings out there if the more podcasts are out there. I think we should encourage anybody who has a voice,
share your
concept, link it up with us. We could group together and give each other material. So if anybody has ideas on starting their own podcast or has the inspiration to do it, we'll be posting information on what equipment we're using and how much it costs and stuff. It's relatively cheap. You know, it's going to be like $150 probably to get yourself started. Not that much. And I'm pretty sure there are ways even around that, too. There's used equipment out there you can get your hands on.
Can we say Craigslist?
I think Craigslist. Why not? Go ahead. You just did.
You find anything on Craigslist, man.
I'm not going to bleep
I was checking it out, I was watching some episode or something, and the guys, they're talking about Craigslist posts. And then it says, I need someone as an Art Kelly impersonator. But I only need him to sound like Art Kelly. He doesn't even have to look like Art Kelly because my son is blind.
You don't think that was some obscure reference to I like people to pee on me?
I don't know. I just thought it was.
You know, there's code out there like like
skeet. Is that
no? More like I sell powdered donuts. It could be some obscure sexual favor, or maybe another reference to cocaine or some
I thought
shit.
It was funny because he's just like, well, you just have to sound like him. You don't even have to look like him because my son is blind. It's like, fuck, okay.
That's crazy.
This is the Father's Day special, right?
Well, we're gonna give a shout out to Father's Day at the end of the show. I think we could.
At the end of the show,
we can do it now. There's no itinerary. Go ahead, launch into your thing, man. You got something to say. The mic's right in front of you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Happy Father's Day to my dad specifically. Growing up, we were kind of estranged from each other. We both had our own personal things going on. Thinking back when I was a kid, he kind of taught me to sit, look, and listen in school, you know, and I wasn't exactly the perfect child either, but these last 4 years that we've been hanging out, he does mechanics, and he was like he can fix like anything, you know. So he's really wicked in that sense. But you know, with these last 4 years that we've been hanging out, we've been really getting to know each other, and rebonding. Is that a word? Rebonding. We've been doing a rebonding thing and stuff. So, you know, I was raised in the environment of. I grew up around alcoholics and addicts, and so in that environment alone, just gives you a sense of sometimes of why my brain works the way it works. I can think of one instance. I think I was in 7th grade, and I got in trouble for smoking at school, and so I get, you know, my mother has to go and pick me up from school, and she chews me out. You know, you wait till your father gets home, and blah blah. You know, I'm like, whatever, okay. So I'm in my room, you know, and then my dad, he comes up to me. He says, I heard you got in trouble for smoking at school. I go, yeah. And he's like standing right in front of me, and he just like hits me like just straight off into the face with his fist. And he says, don't get caught again. He didn't say don't smoke. He didn't say it's bad for your lungs. He said don't get caught again.
And broke your nose.
And no, he busted my lip. It was a tap. It was a what some people consider abuse. I consider a spanking. You know, right. So it's, you know, I'm not a badass. I'm really not. You know what I mean? But I had my share of abuse. And to be quite honest, man, some of the shit that I see in today's society, you know, some of these kids, they need a good fucking smacking. You know what I mean? When little fucking Joey's fucking walking down the fucking aisle, fucking screaming and yelling because he didn't get his fucking Raisin Crunch or whatever the fuck it is, you know? And they're trying to calm him down. He's like, no! Calm down, Joey, calm down. Fucking smack that motherfucker. He'll calm down, you know? Or they're dragging him out and they're smiling while they're dragging him out. He'll be okay. And they're kicking and screaming. So, you know, I mean, not to say that I was a perfect kid, because I look back in retrospect and I was an obnoxious little shit too, you know? But yeah, my dad did the best he could with me with what he had. You know what I mean? He did the best with me with what he had, and the few times that little bit of time that we did have together, he showed me things, you know, that a kid my age shouldn't know. You know what I mean? But that was his way of teaching me how to survive. You know, and so he taught me more street smarts than anything, you know, and for that I'm grateful. I'm grateful because through this, you know, I went through there was a time in my life where I used that street smart, you know what I mean, and I had to put my hustle on, and so he taught me that, you know. But you know, I always enjoy. I'm not a big fan of working on cars and you know, but every now and then he'll have a job to do, and he'll invite me to come along to help him out, you know, and so we spend time together and we chatted up, you know, and you know, he stepped up to plate when I found out about this whole kidney failure thing. You know, he moved in with me, you know, and took care of me, you know, and helped me because I was really weak at that time, you know, and well, fuck, I'm coming off of 23 years of doing dope, you know, and so my body's just detoxing, and so I mean, he made me breakfast, he did my lunch, he's doing my laundry, you know, he's doing the errands, he's paying the bills for me, you know, he was doing all these things, and it was something that I had never expected from him growing up, you know what I mean? I'd never seen that side of him, you know? And so, looking back on it, you know, I'm really grateful for those kind of things, you know? So, yeah, if you're listening to the show, Dad, I just want to say Happy Father's Day to you. And I appreciate everything that you've done for me in the last couple of years and the things that you've taught me, you know? So, anyway... that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, from my childhood, I can remember things like my dad spent a lot of time at Santa Anita and the other racetracks for horses out there, and so when it came down to spending time with my dad, I was pretty much like folding up betting slips into paper airplanes and trying to hang low because the cigarette smoke and cigar smoke hangs real thick in those kinds of places. When I did get a chance to get away from that situation to be with my dad, it was really something special to me. And he would take the time to try to build bonding places outside of that. And that's when you could tell he was really trying, because my dad, I'll just put it out there, he's a compulsive gambler. He spends a lot of time. He actually lives in Vegas right now, so he's right nestled in the heart of it, where he wants to be. And
but he's happy.
Yeah, absolutely. But he would find areas where we could bond, and he has that builder quality to him, like putting things together, like models and stuff. And he's not a carpenter per se, but he's not afraid of embracing a project like that. And we built a work shed for my grandpa when he moved down from Michigan to California to move in with us when he was approaching the end of his time on this earth.
Right.
And we turned the workshop into pretty much like a model airplane, like hobby house. And balsa wood, actual flying airplanes, not the little ones, the little plastic ones that you just hang up from your ceiling. Yeah. And there was quite an investment into that. When you got 4 kids and you got to keep them happy, and 2 of them were pretty much into the remote control thing. My older brother got into the cars, and then my dad wanted to feel like there's an area where we could get into, so he started me into airplanes. And he bought me a P-51 Mustang model balsa wood. It was like a I want to say like 8th scale. It was about like 3 feet long, like pretty decent size, and it was a lot of work putting that thing together. And
you built it from scratch,
from a blueprint, like pinning the pieces onto the blueprint and then gluing those pieces together, and then going from section to section, from left side of the wing to right side of the wing, body, tail, rudder, and then each in separate pieces, and then sanding them, getting all ready to be put together as one piece. The wing is separate from the main body, and then you install the little servos and all the electricals and the gasoline compartments inside, and you put it all together, and then you cover it with your own monocoat, they call it. It's like a thin sheet of plastic that you heat up, and it shrinks and it wraps around to create a flying surface. And it took a long time, probably months to build this thing. And I put a lot of effort into making this thing work, and there was a part of me that was like,
did it fly?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Let me build up the story a little bit. I remember being in Big Bear and my brother voicing his opinion. I think it was his birthday when we took our vacation in Big Bear, and he wanted my brother wanted a remote control car. And so we go to the hobby store, and this is way back when probably the world of remote control hobbyists probably was kind of growing out from like the Toys R Us store-bought. So you could go and buy the remote control car and then give it to your kid and it's ready to go. But my brother wanted to take it to the serious level and have one where you build from scratch, right? And those are a little more expensive. And
RCs, right? RCs.
Right. And so he and my dad got together, and I was looking at the airplanes, and I don't remember voicing my opinion, but I could have been jealous, and a part of me was jealous inside, but I don't remember being that kind of a kid where I'm like, well, I want something too. I think I recognized it was his birthday, but I ended up getting an airplane in that situation. I think my dad might have bought one in thought, so like I could do the airplanes with Wes, and then I'll do the cars with Max. And I remember my brother getting into both of those worlds, and he ended up building that plane. It was a glider, I believe. And then I felt overshadowed, and that's when I probably started voicing my opinion, like, what's up with that? You know, I'm getting left behind here in the dust. What the fuck, you know?
Right.
And and that's when I got the P-51 Mustang. And so we built it, and it took months to put together, and we took a trip up to Castaic Lake, and it was a really cool setup where they had